Hello viewers. Today we have a video on speaking without preparation. I shall give you many tips as to how to speak without preparation in this video. This will be followed by another video where I will give you 5 or 6 topics and tell you how you can speak about them without preparation. This is Sumita Roy's English classroom, which you're watching on YouTube. Please remember to watch the videos completely. Watch all the other videos also, because close to 200 videos are already there. Share with others who are interested in learning. Subscribe if you haven't done it yet. Like and comment. Most of the videos are based on what you have asked for in the comment box. I'm trying to prepare videos which you are asking for. Therefore, if you watch them and share with others, they will also benefit. Let us now come to talk about this idea, and that is how to speak without preparation. Now, these are some of the important points you have to remember. You need to be spontaneous. I have given you an entire video on spontaneous speaking. Then you have to cultivate a style which is suitable to your audience. You might have different people listening to you at different times. So when you are speaking without preparation, you must keep your audience in mind. Then usually these are called extempo speech or impromptu. These are the terms which we use. It might be a surprise, you are just asked to speak without any preparation. You go to a function, you go to a meeting, you go to attend something, and then they ask you, why don't you say a few words? You have to be ready for that. It might be a business meeting. You have gone to attend a meeting, but then some point comes up where you have lots to say. Without preparation, you have to say all what you have, because your knowledge is going to add to the importance of the meeting. In casual conversation also, sometimes we discuss important things. I'm preparing a video for you on mango, what is the history of the fruit and so on. So it's a casual conversation, but you get so much information with this. Let us now start with the points. I'm going to mention 8 tips for you. These tips and tricks should be able to help you to speak without preparation. The first is awareness of your audience. What is the level of your audience's knowledge? What is the level of their understanding? Then what is their interest? You have to also know. And when you start speaking, you have to constantly monitor how your audience is responding. If they are responding by, looking bored, that means you need to change your style. You need to change what you are talking about. If you're elaborating some point, cut it down and go to the next point, because you find that your audience is not interested in what you're saying. So the first point to keep in mind in giving an impromptu speech or in giving an extempo speech, a speech without preparation, that is the first thing. You have not prepared beforehand. You have to look at the audience, you have to look at their requirement, and then start speaking on whichever topic they have given you. The topics might be varied. Or if they tell you, speak on any topic of your choice, then topic is your choice, but preparation is not there. That you have to keep in mind. The second is that you need to make your speech simple and well organized. Although it is not prepared speech, please do not jump from point to point. Briefly introduce the topic. If you want, you can introduce yourself also as well as the topic. When you use a simple language, a language which is clear and concise. This I have said in, maybe 20, 30 videos, that clarity and conciseness are very important for speaking. Very often we speak, but we don't have the clarity. Very often we find that people are saying things, but we are not able to follow them clearly because they are jumbling up ideas. They are mixing ideas. That we should not do. You have to be very careful that you don't do such a thing. Now, we also have to, if you are talking about something which requires a special knowledge, you are a specialist. You have come to some function and they say, could you tell us something about, you know, for instance, farming? Suppose you are an agricultural scientist. Then they show you that, today we are talking about cultivation and how to have food sustainability. Then, as a scientist, you have to use that kind of precision, that kind of knowledge, but in a simple, everyday term, so that in your audience, if different groups are there, they should be able to understand you. Summarize. When you summarize, you put it in, the important points which you've mentioned, quickly summarize. That also shows that your unprepared speech is structured. That is point number 2. Now we come to the third point. It is very easy for us to speak on topics which are a part of our knowledge or experience. So if you want to speak extempore, if you want to speak without preparation, please have a large awareness of things. Whatever is your subject, you are aware of. But please be aware of political, social, environmental, or abstract issues. Important things which are, a part of human experience. You can't be a specialist in one subject and speak on another subject without preparation. That is why your awareness is very important. Therefore, point number 3 out of the 8 points which I'm going to tell you, point number 3 is that you should have a wide range of ideas so that in any situation you're asked to speak, you will be able to speak. It might not be something which you know about, but you have read about it. You have heard people talk about it. Put all your experience together and then speak. This makes your speech, extempore speech, without preparation speech, very authentic. It makes it very real. The people who are in the audience, if it's one person or 10 people, they all appreciate that you are speaking from a very relevant point of view. As I told you, in the next video, I'm going to tell you a few topics and I'm going to show you how you can speak about these without preparation. Then we come to number 4. That is the point number 4. The tip number 4 for speaking without preparation. Usually when you are speaking without preparation, it might not be a very formal context. Then somebody raises their hand and asks you a question. If you are speaking online, they might press that icon which shows that somebody has raised their hand. These days, many of these unprepared speeches might be online. You're attending an online program and there you are asked to speak. Then you speak, somebody asks you a question. Usually, if somebody asks you a question when you're speaking, many speakers feel upset because they forget what they are saying. But this is not good. If you want to be able to speak without preparation, you must be willing to stop, listen, answer the question, and then continue where you stopped. This needs a lot of practice. Please remember that whatever tips I'm giving you today, you have to practice for a very long time. It is not possible to do it in 1 or 2 days. If you have been speaking regularly, then it will be very easy for you. If you're trying to speak now for the first time, please concentrate on prepared speeches. Prepare the speech and practice. Once you've practiced 100 prepared speeches, you will be able to give an unprepared speech with this. So, this is called active listening practice. Suppose you're speaking. Some two people sitting in front of you are whispering something. You can hear what they are saying. You stop, you have listened. Now you answer and then you continue. They've not asked you, but you show engagement with your audience. So your active listening is important. When you are speaking online, there is a chat box. As you are speaking, something comes on the chat box. Your eyes go towards the chat box. You read it and then you answer it. You integrate it into your speech because, after all, yours is an unprepared speech. You don't have a ready speech with you. Therefore, you can say whatever you feel like. Now, when you are using these points, you must remember that your ability to listen not only to verbal clues, if they speak by words, but to listen and understand non-verbal clues also. Somebody is sitting and looking at their watch all the time. What are they saying? They're telling you, please stop. Time is up. Now don't speak anymore. So that is a non-verbal clue which you can understand. Here it is listening not with your ears, but observing. Very important. Unless you have that, you are not going to benefit in speaking. Now we come to the next point, and that is point number 5. The tips which I'm giving you, now we have moved to number 5 out of the 8. You have to be very careful when you are giving an unprepared speech or a prepared speech that your non-verbal skills support your verbal skills. This also I have mentioned in many videos. I hope you are watching all the videos. Then you will know that these are repetitions. But then this is a classroom. See the name of the channel? Sumita Roy's English Classroom. So in a classroom we tend to repeat because repetition is wonderful. We have the term mantra. Mantra implies that you keep repeating something in your mind that becomes real. So this is a mantra you have to remember. And that is, you have to be very careful about your non-verbal skills. Your non-verbal communication is very important in speaking, especially in prepared, without preparation. When you speak, your non-verbal skills get totally disrupted because you are, trying to think in your mind and speak at the same time. Thinking and speaking you're doing together. Then what are you doing? Your eyes are not looking at your audience. Your facial expression is not concentrating on the audience's, observation. You are concentrating on your mind. So by looking at your eyes, we feel that you are thinking of something else. Your facial expression is very tense because you are, trying to concentrate on what is happening in your mind and then using those in words. That is not a good prepared speech. You should be very comfortable when you are giving a speech without preparation also. Whether it is prepared speech or unprepared speech, you must maintain eye contact with your audience. You must make appropriate gestures. If you keep holding your hands like that, if you don't move your body, if you don't have, you don't show all these, it shows that you lack confidence. You are getting worried. Am I saying the right things? Am I saying enough? Or am I saying what is expected? These worries are going on in, two channels of your mind. One which is thinking and speaking, and the other which is, taking away your ability to speak. So when you do that, it shows that you lack confidence. Some people, clutch on to the microphone like this. Don't do that. Keep your hands free. Don't clutch on to the podium. You hold on to the table in front of which you're standing. These show your lack of confidence. Some people keep moving from one leg to the other. They keep, doing that. That is very distracting for the audience. It shows that you are nervous. So you can't do that. This point is very important. Point number 5, that you need to see. Once you practice these in your speeches, which are prepared speeches, not what I'm saying today, you have a prepared speech and observe your body language. When you practice, as I told you, when you practice 100 speeches, prepared ones, then your body language becomes comfortable. You know in what situation, what body language you need to use. You need not spend much effort on that. So in your unprepared speech also, your body language is very attractive and it is helping to communicate what you are saying. Now, when the speech is unprepared, please remember that they don't expect you to be perfect. If it is a speech which is prepared and you are reading it out, it is absolutely perfect. You have written it, you have edited it, you have proofread it, you might have asked others to help you. So it is a perfect script. You are reading it out clearly. But an unprepared speech? What are you going to do in an unprepared speech? All this is not there. So in a speech where you have not prepared from beforehand, suddenly somebody has asked you to speak, or suddenly you felt that you have to speak. Please remember that imperfection is all right. If you are not perfect in everything, if your structure of the sentence is not exactly as you want, if you repeat the same word 2 or 3 times, or if you say, oh, I forgot to mention at the beginning and then you mention it at the end, these are not considered as negatives. So don't look for perfection when it is a speech which is unprepared. Suppose you have gone to a program and then you have asked a question. Somebody, 2, 3 people are on the stage, they are speaking. You have asked a simple question. Then one of the people who is managing the program, the president of the program, says, please come onto the stage and explain whatever you have in mind. You might have given a long question or a long suggestion. Then what you do, you go on to the stage, you are given a microphone, you hold the microphone, and for 5 minutes you speak about what was in your mind. Imagine, here there is no chance of preparing because immediately they asked you to speak. Sometimes you have gone somewhere as an invited guest. You are sitting in the first row. After the program is halfway through, somebody says, we have an important person with us today. Let us invite that person to say a few words. Then you have no time to prepare. They have called your name and you have to go and start preparing. So please remember that you have to be able to improvise in situations where you are unprepared. And there nobody thinks of perfection. There they think how well you are able to explain and how well you are able to say all this. Now, in a speech where you haven't prepared, prepared speech you have practiced many times, no problem. But where it is unprepared, where it is sudden, where it is impromptu or extempore, what happens is that, as I told you, we get a little worried. The heartbeat becomes huge, and then you find that you are able to you know, go across, you are able to see that your whole body, your, you know, adrenaline is not really cooperating with you. Here, a very important technique is your ability to relax. Relaxing is very important. And how will you be able to relax? You will be able to relax only when you are already used to speaking. That is why again and again I'm mentioning that you need to practice 100 speeches before you come to a speaking without practice. No preparation, no practice. You are speaking immediately, spontaneously, impromptu, extempore. These are all important points for you to remember. Therefore, learn to relax when you are speaking. When you speak for a very long time, when you have experience of speaking, you find that you don't get nervous. You can relax. You don't feel as though it is difficult. But when we begin, it is very difficult. I can tell you of my experience when I started teaching. The first day when I started teaching, then I felt very nervous. There were students who were much older to me. I was just 22 years old. And you can imagine that after teaching for 45 years or more than 45 years, I don't feel that, I cannot speak at any point. No preparation is required because experience is helping. Practice. So practice and learn to relax. Organize your thoughts on whichever topic you come across. You come across a beautiful article in a newspaper. Then you say, oh, this is so interesting. Let me try to see what I have read and what I have learned. This will stay in some corner of your mind as a part of your experience. You might have read it 10 years back. Suddenly, when you have to speak, that idea comes to your mind and you can use it as you are speaking. So you can understand how important this is. That is number 7. And then, of course, your ability to, do some mind mapping. Mind mapping is when you organize your thoughts and ideas spontaneously, not organized beforehand. Organize your thoughts so that this becomes a habit. This habit is very important for all of you so that when you are speaking without preparation, you find that your habit, your discipline, mental discipline of using, those ideas which are there in your mind already, they might be at the back of your mind, but you're able to use them. What happens when you have this kind of discipline is that you don't get flustered when you have to speak without preparation. These tips you need to practice on any topic. You take a topic from your personal experience. You take topics from things around you. You take topics from subjects or disciplines which interest you. Choose many topics, practice preparing speeches on them, and saying it aloud to yourself, recording and evaluating. Once you have encountered that 100 limit prepared speeches, then you start speaking on anything and everything without preparation so that you learn to think in an organized way, mind mapping, and that mental discipline comes to you very easily. So I have given you these 8 points. Now immediately following this video, I will give you a video where unprepared short speeches, I will try to give you a few topics, and there you will see how it is done. So use these tips, use there, and those topics use here, because I didn't want to make a very long video. Somebody said make 1 minute videos. I can't do that. Therefore, follow the tips well and please practice as much as you can. Thank you and all the best.